Bullying in secondary schools. Project P.E.E.R. When it comes to secondary school environments, bullying or cyberbullying has maintained its position as one of the most aggressive and violent forms of expression amongst peers within schools. There have been many research studies to determine how exactly this generational phenomenon has come to rise to such prominence, especially in an era with so many new technologies being introduced to our students. Although bullying can certainly occur at the elementary school level, there are certain key factors that have a larger influence and impact at the secondary level for some reason, with these research studies are determined to get to the bottom of. These studies have examined bullying by breaking it up into 4 different types: physical bullying, verbal bullying, behavioral and social bullying, and cyberbullying, with each type of bullying possessing several unique factors that may be the root of such behaviors or outbursts within the classroom. Research has also shown that victims of bullying are more likely to become bullies themselves, hurt themselves, drop out of school, or develop some form of substance abuse. In a recent study, the participants were 863 and 36 students aged 15 to 18. The results showed that 9% of all students were bullies, 12.2% were victims, and 5.6% were bully/victims. The results revealed that boys bully others and are victims more often than girls, on average. Another study showed that nearly 25% of students reported experiencing bullying. So approximately 5.9% of heterosexual students and 25.7% of LGBT students attempted suicide as a result of bullying. And most mass school shooters are male, and most of them experience some form of bullying victimization. Across both face-to-face bullying victimization and cyberbullying victimization, younger adolescents report significantly more bullying than older adolescents. The overall prevalence of victimization was 19.74% for traditional bullying and 15.38% for cyberbullying, suggesting that cyberbullying is not a low-frequent phenomenon. So some of the causes of bullying include academic seniority, where older students bully younger students, socioeconomic status, family and or peer factors outside of school, like a major death in the family or a divorce, exposure to abuse outside of school or lack of family support or guidance, or a student may be tired of being bullied themselves, so they begin to fight back and become a bully. Some of the effects of these causes include poor academic performance. They start skipping or failing or just simply drop out of school. They start experiencing anxiety, depression, and or suicide. Excessive substance abuse, including cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, vapes, e-cigarettes. They begin to tolerate peer violence because it becomes so much normalized in their school, or it in turn just creates more bullies and further perpetuates the negative cycle. So what is Project P.E.E.R.? I propose it as a school-wide multi-component effort to address and combat all forms of bullying within the school. So P.E.E.R., P.E.E.R. would stand for Protecting Everyone's Emotional Rights. This program could also possibly count as an elective. That could serve as like an incentive for students to participate. But the influence of peers can be highly overlooked by educators who tend to focus on a more traditional classroom environment. And a lot of students tend to look to each other for acceptance while establishing their own identities. Therefore, one of the main goals of this project would be to bring students closer together while also establishing a more trusting, safe, secure, and accepting school environment for all students. If approved, Project P.E.E.R. would be composed of a multi-component program, and it would last for the entire duration of the school year from September through June for 10 months. One component of the project would consist of a series of monthly motivational guest speakers from the community once a month. Another component would include a series of weekly peer-to-peer, student-with-student workshops where students would occasionally meet up with their mentor, who they're paired up with as part of the program. I'll get into that shortly, more in depth. The third component of the project would incorporate weekly SEL interviews with counselors and school specialists that can either be held in private, in pairs, or in group sessions at the discretion of the students. And the idea is that this project will ultimately bring our students closer together. while becoming more comfortable and secure with themselves and tolerant of others. So as far as the first component, peer-to-peer workshops, it would be a series of weekly workshops where students in lower grades are paired with students in higher grades as mentors or tutors. And students who participate in this aspect of the project would be exposed to different personalities and perspectives while also establishing better relationships and building their social skills among their peers. The idea is that the students would have someone that they can relate to and seek guidance from for certain things that the students may not necessarily feel that they can go to counselors, parents, and faculty for. And this would be a great way for students to open up, get them to open up and realize that they're not alone. The second component, I mentioned monthly seminars with guest speakers, and they're motivational speakers. And these guest speakers would obviously be from the community, and they can reflect on their experiences with the students and how their experiences have affected them, letting the students know they are not alone. Possible guest speakers can include police officers, former convicts who made mistakes and are righting their wrongs, community members who've struggled with drug or substance abuse in the past, former students who were bullies themselves, former students who were victims themselves, or even parents who may have lost their children to bullying one way or another. The third component I mentioned are weekly SEL interviews or counseling sessions. So SEL refers to the skills that enable our students to regulate their emotions, maintain positive relationships with others, and resolve conflicts peacefully, making ethical decisions and contributing to their community. SEL is implemented a lot at the elementary school level in my experience, but I think this would serve as a powerful tool to get our secondary students to emotionally open up at their own discretion with the goal of relieving them of any stress, anxiety, or depression that they may have either experienced in the past or are currently experiencing. And during these interviews, students can also be supplied fidgets, anti-bullying wristbands for awareness, or stress balls for them to squeeze or use to relieve tension. Inspirational slogans, anti-bullying posters, motivational posters, wristbands, these would be essential to the program as well. We would have all these anti-bullying and anti-substance abuse posters all over the school classrooms, the gym, the cafeteria, the hallways. Inspirational slogans and quotes would be encouraged for the educators to use in their classrooms. This helps foster a class environment where students can feel motivated and are constantly reminded of the standard of behavior expected from them. And if we constantly keep reminders of what kind of school environment we're all working together to create and maintain, it will keep our students in a positive and encouraging attitude, which can in turn rub off on others. The initial implementation of Project P.E.E.R would take less than a month just to get the ball rolling, with the program being able to last all throughout the school year from September to June. As far as a budget for the program, Project P.E.E.R would actually serve as an extremely low-cost initiative with multiple benefits for the students, costing less than $10,000. When it comes to the resources, the most expensive components of the project would include supplying the school with inspirational quotes, motivational posters, anti-drug or tobacco posters, buying fidgets, anti-bullying wristbands, and stress balls, and paying for guest speakers from the community. The total costs projected for Project P.E.E.R would come out to roughly $8,800 per school if it was to be implemented in more than one school. Here's a brief synopsis, a breakdown of the total budget, how we got to $8,800, breaking it down by everything. So in conclusion, the reality is that various forms of bullying in our schools can lead to a number of long-term consequences, including excessive alcohol consumption, having poor school performance, being a transgressor, or even accepting peer violence. By implementing projects like Project P.E.E.R at the secondary level, we can provide students with the opportunity to build their social skills, emotional discipline, and learn new ways to express themselves. This project would also help students learn how to better cope with stress, anxiety, all while being exposed to new perspectives and peers. At the school level, it will change the way our students view themselves, their peers, and their school environment. At the district level, if successfully implemented, this project could serve as the template for any future anti-bullying initiatives taken at other schools or districts, serving as a prime example of how to go about initiating certain aspects of an anti-bullying program.